So can you transition to a mortgage broker role from another industry? Is that something that is possible? This is a question that comes up quite a lot. And honestly, the answer is yes, of course you can. I've seen people and I've worked with people over the years who've come from all different fields and backgrounds. We've got teachers, lawyers, doctors, accountants. I mean, gosh, even a chef, police officers are another common one. So we've had some crazy different industries that come into mortgage brokering and they absolutely thrive and they become very successful. But what I would say is if you don't go into it correctly and you don't do these things I'm going to go through in today's video correctly, it can actually be a real problem. I've seen many people come into the industry and then struggle because the learning curve is very steep and they run away. And again, there's no reflection on them. It just means that it can be tough. And so in today's video, I'm going to unpack 3 things that I think you should be looking for and doing if you're coming from a different industry into mortgage brokering. Before we go any further, my name is Ash Borland, business coach and brand strategist helping mortgage brokers simplify success. Over the years, I've helped hundreds of brokers improve their impact and income, and I'd love to do the same for you today. So the very first thing I would say if you are coming into this industry from a completely different background is do your research. Make sure, absolutely, do your research on the industry, do your research on individual players locally, see if you can shadow other brokers potentially. You need to know about the world of not just mortgages, but the world of property too. One of the things I was very lucky at is I came into mortgages having been an estate agent, and then a lot of my family were in that role as well. They were in that space. And so for me, I was using my experience as an estate agent, and I lent heavily on that. But I did a lot of research into what mortgage brokers actually do, and I actually again shadowed some of the brokers in my office to see what it is they actually did, because weirdly we didn't actually know. So do your research, get to know the role, get to know the names, get to know the buying process, how it works, because it's a big learning curve if you just dive straight in. So do your research. The second one I'd say is find common links. So what you will find is that there is common links between what you do and what the thing that you're trying to pursue is. And why I say that, and it can be a bit weird. You might think, where are the common links on this? You know, you're a police officer and now you're going to be a mortgage broker, or you're a chef and you're going to be a mortgage broker. There is always common links in that, okay? There are always common links. It's a sales role, so you have to be very sales driven or target driven or motivated and an action taker. These type of things are very much linked. And so you want to look at it, most likely your role will have some form of connective tissue, so to speak. So if you come from more of an administrative role, maybe then your understanding of compliance, that's going to be significantly better as a broker. You can lean on, you can use that. You might, if you come from more of a sales role, like I said, you might have more personality driven, you might be more chatty and things like that. If you have come from more of a customer care, customer service role, then maybe you'd be really good when dealing with how to progress people through their cases. Like I've said over and over again, there are multifaceted ways within a broker, and you need all of them. You need to be analytical, customer focused, and also very sales driven in order to succeed in this role. But knowing which ones you are good at will give you more confidence when you first come into the industry. And then the final one I say in today's video is lean on your strengths. So when you actually go and do the role, if you think about this before, this is all, you've done your research, you go and see if it's for you. Then what you'll do is you'll go and then find those common links. Once you're in the job, lean on those strengths, lean on those links and use them as your crutch, because they will be for a long, long time. Personal story on this one, when I became a mortgage broker, I really knew nothing about mortgages. This is many years ago now, but I knew nothing about it. I knew a lot about property and estate agency because that was where I was in. So I just lent on that. I just lent on the fact that I knew the process. I'd sold lots of houses. I brought that up. I've worked in property and I don't know what I do. I've worked in property and finance for a long time. I'd worked in property for a long time and finance for not very long, but mashing them together. And then just so you know, I've sold lots of houses. I've been involved in many transactions. I can guide you through that process really easily. So I would always lean on the things I was very good at, and not say, hey, I have no idea how mortgages work. I've only just got qualified and got my CMAP like 6 weeks ago. I wasn't saying that. And that's what you have to look at. You want to lean on those strengths and really make them the cornerstone of what you do. And chances are they will be the thing that separates you from your competitors and as your niche, because you'll get better at that, and your whole service most likely as a broker will be built around those things. If you are more customer driven or sales driven or factual and analytically driven. So leaning on those strengths is a vital point. So my key takeaway from today's episode and today's video is that it is absolutely possible. In fact, I think really encouraging and good to come into mortgages from a different career role. It's an incredibly fun and rewarding job, and people coming from different roles really does give more exciting energy into the industry. However, make sure you do these 3 things because it's very different, and it can be a very steep learning curve. And sadly, we lose a lot of people who come into the industry from other sectors because of this. Now, if you're thinking about becoming a mortgage broker and transitioning into this industry, check out this video on screen, which is my what to expect in your first year as a mortgage advisor. Definitely not one you want to miss. And if you have any questions you'd like me to answer, chuck them in the comments and I'll get back to you.